Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Draymond Green is facing a difficult period in the NBA and his return is approaching, but there are many comments that the Warriors will not keep Green and will trade him to another franchise. Draymond Green has done a lot for the Warriors, but at the moment he is disturbing the team with his expulsions in games and attacks on rival players. Where can Draymond Green go? He is well regarded by LeBron James, who is his friend and could go to the Lakers, but there are other teams that want to sign Green. Steve Kerr opens up on Draymond Green's disappointing behavior ahead of NBA return. Speaking on 95.7 The Game, longtime Warriors coach Steve Kerr broke his silence on number 23 and the actions that led up to his indefinite suspension. In a moment of authenticity, Kerr condemned Draymond's behavior and challenged him to be better when he returns to the court. What's happened over the last year, it has been disappointing and we are really counting on Draymond to make some strides with this stuff, said Kerr, and we're confident that he will be able to and that he'll be able to come back and play at a high level. Steve Kerr went on to say that while he has confidence that Draymond has put the worst behind him, he remains unsure when the NBA will lift his suspension. As it stands, there is no set timetable for Draymond's return, and it's really up to the NBA to decide when he will be allowed back into action. Draymond is on a short leash. For Green, his issues trace back years now. From his flaming groin kicks to his constant chattering with the refs, Draymond built up a certain reputation long before he went off the rails in this campaign. As good as he's been on both ends for the Warriors, his tendency to lose control on the floor can be a detriment at times, just as we are seeing this season. So when he choked out Rudy Gobert and socked Jusuf Nurkic in the face, it's no surprise that it was seen as the last straw in the eyes of the NBA. Not even Draymond, who has never been apologetic, could defend his actions after the Suns game, and by the time fans saw the clip circulating online, there was a feeling that the league would respond. To this day, Green remains suspended from NBA action. And even as he ramps up for his eventual return, nobody is sure what to expect when he finally comes back. Trouble in Golden State. In the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors have been one of the biggest stories of the season. Still fresh off their championship victory in 2022, the Dubs were hoping to capture something special this season with Steph, Klay, and Draymond all still together. Unlike in previous years, however, that formula has not achieved favorable results. At 16-17, the Warriors are 11th in the West and a far cry from where they were just 2 seasons ago. The crux of the problem starts with the Splash Brothers, who have been a shell of themselves all season long. After a hot start, Stephen Curry has struggles of late and just recently ended a major shooting slump that saw him shooting horrible efficiency. For Thompson, the decline is much more severe and his 42% shooting this season marks the lowest of his entire career. Of course, there's also the ongoing situation with Draymond, who has struggled to even stay on the floor for the Warriors. These components have all mixed to create a really bad situation for the Golden State Warriors, but if there's any team that can respond and bounce back in a big way, it's them. Whether you love them or hate them, you cannot count the Warriors out, and when they are fully healthy and whole, they are still a tough team to beat. Steve Kerr knows this better than anyone. Draymond Green may have reached the end of the line with Warriors. Draymond Green's future with the Golden State Warriors is a hot topic. The veteran forward is serving his second suspension of the season with an indefinite timeline. He has been involved in multiple altercations over the past 18 months, spanning back to his assault on Jordan Poole during Golden State's 2022 training camp. During the off-season, Green signed a 4-year $100 million contract extension with Golden State. However, his recent transgressions have left question marks over his future with the franchise. The Warriors have struggled to reach their usual standards this season. A trade may be the only way to turn their season around. In his recent article for The Ringer, Kevin O'Connor noted how Green would still have a trade market should he be made available. Even though Green's reputation has lost some of its luster, if he were made available, there'd be a small group of teams viewing him as their final piece, O'Connor wrote. A motivated Draymond with something to prove on a new team is appealing. Right? Green is a 4-time NBA champion. He's also an 8-time All-Defensive Team selection and a former Defensive Player of the Year. Multiple contending teams could potentially show interest in acquiring him despite his recent disciplinary issues. Golden State would be unlikely to part ways with Green for a discounted price. It understands the value he provides to their rotation when on the court. It's why the team re-signed him during the summer. As such, negotiations could get tricky. Any team looking to acquire him would likely want some form of discount due to his current suspension and his recent track record with the league. Green's future is anything but clear. However, his time with the Warriors will run until at least the end of the season. If he can return to the rotation and prove he can stay out of trouble, he could still end his career in the Bay Area as a player who spent his playing days on one team, and that's pretty special.